going through it will give us the ideas, and we'll see the patterns anyway. So here he says, when you say the word asher, the three letters here. So you say asher, right? We didn't get to kidushanu yet. So he says that whatever malchim were delivered as a result, let's go back one page to page pay. Hey, I'm really sorry that I'm a little bit behind here. I was looking up something. Pay hey. So in the regular matbea bracha, because I see that the next bracha for the next bracha in this sequence is going to be more complicated too. When we say melech olam, there's normally a arba mitzvos based in. And as a result of that, we're going to bring up all kinds of things along with as Mayim Nukvin, along to the Rom Hama'alos, and he shows us the Rapach here. Let's go over to the next page where we're at today, as where I think we are. We're at the word Asher, and he's going to look at all three of the letters here. And it's interesting that at least, let me bring this over here. At least as far as I'm concerned, I saw this in the Zohar, but there's some of this in the Zohar, and it's the same thing but different. So he said, when you say the word asher, so all of those mochim that you had brought up, they're all going to be coming back down. They go to the Roma Alos, they're going to come back down. They're going to go to Yam Shichem, the Yesod, the Malchus, the Yasos. So now we're going to take them to the Malchus of Yasos. I'm sorry. Am I in the wrong? Am I listening? Can I hear you, or what went wrong here? Oh, here you are. Oh, okay. Wow. So I was looking at something else, and
just call me after.
Okay. The boss speaks. Okay, Yam Shichem the Yesod of Malchus the Yasos. So these things, we're going to bring them back down. We're going to bring them down to Yam Shichem the Yesod of Malchus. I see that he puts the two of them together a lot. It's like the concept of livnas hasaper that you see in when we're leading with the steps in the Madrigos in the Olam of Bria. Is that they're actually considered to be kind of like the same. If you get to Yesod, then you're touching Malchus like that. So he says, anyway, Yamshichem the Yesod of Malchus the Yasos. Where is this Malchus and Yachs Hamavuluvashim but Salmech Abirurim? Now this is harder for me because we know what the Tzalim is. The Tzalim is a Lavush. So it's in the Lavush of the Birurim. Now, I didn't really ever get to really understanding how the Tzalmei Marshalachem Shagavar, all of the Nisaknu that already are up there. So they're going to be Maluvish, these Berurim. And he says the Tzalmei Maluchim Shalachem Shagavar Alu V'Nisaknu. Okay. Gam Asher, the word Asher, Yesod the Ima represents the Yesod of Ima, Shabo Nichlalim Nai. So in the Yesod of Ima is her Nai. The Nai is the part that actually goes into Zeranpin. Hamramazim B'Shin the Asher, which is a reference to the Shin of the word Asher. V'yakaven alahamtik ribua elokim, which is a number resh, which is the hugamatria resh, the asher. So you're going to take this shin, the asher, and you're going to use it to mimamtik this ruach of this revua of the ruach. But he said, and now in the aleph the asher, shuhu aleph the sag, because sag has one aleph in it. The das the ima umisham nitnan lalea, and there it gives the Leah. And there's obviously a lot missing here. How did Leah get into this equation? But that's where it is. It's talking at the top, which is Leah, I guess. So let's look over here and the light print of number Kaf Ches. So where is number Kaf Ches up above them? So I can't find it. There it is. So his Gam Asher Yesod Gam Asher refers to the Yesod of Ima Shabo Nichlalim the Nai Shalom. Okay, the whole nai is in the Yisod. I'm not sure exactly why he said it like that. So the idea is you take Revuah Elokim, which you can matri v'reish, the Asher, and you're going to sweeten it with the olive. Ba'olive the Asher who olive the sag the das the ima. Now you have to trace that down. He says that the sag, it is the sag that is found in the parts of the das of ima. That's the middle line. Whatever. Because umisham nitan Leah, and from there it's given to Leah. Now, I don't have an explanation right this time why Leah is involved. Klaus the mida rabeshecha v'romas the ima. So the word asher, which is a reference to ima, koloma the yisod to ima. Particularly, we're talking about the yisod of ima because we said that we're bringing this moching downwards into the yisod of ima. But prat os shin shal asher, but specifically that letter shin romas the nai the ima. It's a reference to the nai of ima. So we know that the nai contains all the moching. V'gomoshe metzina b'shara kavanos. He said romas the nai. Os reish romas the shem elokim b'rivua. Shehu mismatek al yedei the os aleph. The shem havaya b'milui sag. Now all of this is like just where this is coming from. Shows aleph sheyesh b'milui vav. So the aleph that you find in the vav of sag, the Chavavai, who romes al hahamshacha lezah. This is a reference. He says the aleph. What he says sheyesh b'milui vav. The Chavavai who romes al hahamshacha lezer anpen, v'hum mamtek es hadinim shel shem elokim, and it's used to sweeten those dinim. Now, if this was not really shown in this process, but what we have here is a series of Yehudim going all the way up to the Roma Ma'alos and bringing the Shefa back down, and this is what we're seeing here now, bring it down to the Shefa there. Then we come to the next magic word, which is the word kidushanu. So now we have Asher, and we brought the Mochin down into the Yisod of Ima, which is her Nai, which includes her Nai. That language is a little bit, difficult for me because the Nai is the Nai. But he's saying inside of the Yisod of Yasos, which is Ima, let's say, is the Nai. Okay, I guess it's inside of her Yisod. So now you say this word, this magical word kidushanu. You cover the hamshech mi Yisod v'malchus the Yasos, the Atzilus. Now you're in Atzilus, and he's going to go through various different stages here. And he said, "Mekife lamed mem, the mekifim of the lamed mem, the tzalmei hamochim, the chachmos, the Abba, and the chachmos of Ima, the Yasos." So he just says chachmos, the Abba, and then he says Ima, the Yasos. Im the ranchi, the chaya, shebechem, together with a set of lights that are found in the ore, which is called chaya. Then he shows us the picture. Okay, now I have been doing the pictures first, so the pictures are Chochma, the Lamed Mem, the Tzelem, the Abba. So this is the Chochma, the Lamed Mem, the Tzelem, the Abba. And we see Keser, Chochma, Bina, Das, Chesed, Gevur, Teferes, Netzach, Chod, Yisod. And Malchus is not shown, but Malchus is implied. That's my opinion. So Chochma, the Lamed Mem, the Tzelem, the Abba. And then on the other side, it looks exactly the same. This Chochma, the Lamed Mem, the Tzelem, the Ima. Now, one of the things that is concerning me is that he's talking about the makifim. So apparently we're bringing down in the makif kind of, in the makif form. We're not talking about the tzad the tzelem, which goes into Zeranpin. We're talking about lights that are on the outside of Zeranpin. This is what happens. So he says, as he goes on, so we just went through the Lamed Mem, what they look like, what those auras look like. So he says in this little Rashi print down below, he says, Chabad v'chagat the ma'uben. This is the Chabad, the top part of the parsha is called Chagat. And apparently, ma would be considered, and I guess that's what you have here. You're looking down here, the lamed and the men, the ma uben. He says the chagat, the ma, which has apparently 10 spheros in it, or 10 oros in it, uben, also the same thing. The partzufi kachba da atzilus, and these are all coming from the partzufim of the kachba da atzilus, which is the very highest parts of the kesser chachma bina das da atzilus. The zer anpin da atzilus, the abia da atzilus. Let's go over that again. So he says once again, he says the chabad chagat the ma'u ben. So let's just assume that ma'u ben has a chabad and a chagat. The partzufi kachba atzilus, which is the partzufim of the keser chochba bina and das of atzilus. So this is where it's coming from. This also coming from the zer anpin da atzilus. And then he says this other phrase, which you have to abia atzilus of all of the different hidden worlds, I guess, that are in atzilus itself, of the 4 hidden words, which is atzilus, bri, yitzia, and asiya, the atzilus. Number Kaf test, V'gam Yakavin Lahamshik Olav, so also you should have this kavana. To stream down, Yakavin Lahamshik Olav, Kedusha mi Yisod Abba. The Kedusha comes from the Yisod of Abba. Should be Yisod the Ima, which is hidden inside of the Yisod of Ima. Gam Yakavin Lahamshik Olav, Kedusha mi Yisod Abba should be Yisod the Ima, and he writes here on number Kaf test. Gam Yikavin Lacham Shekalov Kedushim Yisod Abba Yisod the Ima. B'mila Asher, and when we said Asher previously, Nirmaz Yisod the Ima, that was a reference to the Yisod of Ima, where all the mochin are coming into there. B'mila Kidushanu, then the next minute, Nirmaz Yisod the Abba, so that's the Yisod of Abba. So first is Shefa coming from the Yisod of Ima, and then Shefa coming in Kidushanu, Yisod the Abba. B'klalcha Yedua, so there's a general rule that is known. Shekol Kodesh, everything that's Kodesh, and I'm not sure what his definition of it is, but he says kidushanu, everything that is Kodesh comes from Chochmah. Okay, so now we're going to go over, and the lights are continuing to move downwards. Here, let's just read it, and we'll get through it. It's, if you look at the lights, the oros that we have here, they're the same oros. That was exactly the same which was on the previous page, but now they're going to be coming from a different place. In other words, they're moving down. So he writes, L'chamshik Mekife and the Lamed Mem. Once again, the importance here is the Mekifim. And I don't have a definition of what happened to the Tzaddik Tzalim, or it is that the Tzaddik Tzalim is going in, but we're focusing on the Lamed Mem, which is the Maki. The Tzalmei HaMochin, the Binos, now before that was Chochmos. Binos, the Abba v'Imba v'Yasos, im Neranki, the Neshama Shebechem, because with Bina goes along the concept of Neshama. So he says, again, the Binos, the Abba v'Imba v'Yasos, im Neranki, with the complete set of lights of the Neshama. And then he shows us all of these lights. So, but coming from Bina now, they went from Chochmah, now went into Bina. This is the same Shefa, but in a different place. So we think that it's becoming more physical as it's going down. And where is it going? It's going to the Chabad v'Chagat, the Ma'u Ben. Now that's the same thing he said before. So we have to, I'm assuming that Ma'u Ben are partzufim in this particular case. So it's the Chabad, the top 2 parts, that is the top 6 spheros of Ma'u Ben. The partzufi kachba de bria, which is the partzufim of Keser, Chochmah, Bina, and Das. In other words, the top part of bria. The zer anpin, the chatzilus of the bria. The abiyah de atzilus, which comes from the abiyah of atzilus. And we have this phrase again, is that the abiyah de atzilus, which means all the different parts, worlds within worlds, of atzilus. And then he says, well, let's see, what is this? Netzach ho de Abba. So he says, Netzach ho de Abba, he has a little saying on here at the bottom. Netzach ho de Abba, acher shenimshach miyisod de Abba b'tevis kidushanu. So now you said the word kidushanu. Now I'm sorry that we're on the word, let me just show it here. We're on the word bmitzvotzav. We come someplace else. In mitzvotzav is a more of an action kind of word. So he said, First he says, so we're in the Lamed Lama down below. It says, Netzav da Abba. Akbar shenemshach miyasod da Abba b'tevis kidushanu. So now everything is pouring out of the yasod of Abba. Mamshichim b'tevis bmitzvotzav. If we continue to flow this downwards, gam b'netzav da Abba, also in his netzach and hod. So we had what was the first part. He says, "Sheda Abba b'tevis kidushanu mamshichim b'tevis b'mitzvotzav." Gam b'netzav hod da Abba kumon sheb'tevis asher nirmaz called nai the ima. Here we're getting all the nai of Abba, and this is where the shir ends today. And tomorrow, Mitzvah Hashem, we'll be able to get through Tzivisana, where it comes down to Zer Anpin, and then the word Al, which is the number 100. He's going to say that later. You get to the word Mikra Megillah. See where that's going to be. This is Baruch Fleischman, Tikkun Elevator Kolo.